This video is all about line directionality. It's a difficult concept to get across, and frankly, it's a difficult concept for me to really understand. It's something I've been studying for just about 2 years after talking to Lee Weeks, an incredible artist of so many things. I can't even mention them all. He's one of my earliest influences, one of my biggest influences, and still a big influence for me to this day. I had a conversation with him over breakfast, and he was talking about some of his favorite inkers and the things that he liked in an inker and the things that he didn't. And one of the most important things for Lee in an inker is understanding the theme that he's creating with his line directionality, and an inker that can really pick that up. He mentioned Bill Sienkiewicz inked him once before, a couple times before, and did it beautifully. And it's just something that I had never considered before. So I wanted to share with you my current understanding of what line directionality means, what creating a theme with it means, and how it can relate to the line of beauty and some other concepts that I've learned and tried to share with you before. We're going to be looking at George Bridgeman for this. I've done a video on George Bridgeman's complete guide to drawing from life before. It's an incredible resource for artists. And there's so many things in the book that are difficult to really grasp when you first go through it, or even many times going through it, especially because the words in the book are really difficult to follow. Certainly were for me. But Lee gave me an insight into what George Bridgman is doing, what he's doing with his own work, and what so many other artists that have a great angularity and just a great visual theme to their figures do that I was really unaware of. And so in the first example I wanted to show you, this torso here, you can really see that he has a theme with his line directionality. The line of the back here with the chest here, and then the crest of the hip here, and then going the other way, this line here to this section here, all the way up to this here. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but there really is a theme to the way that he's directing his lines. And he even follows that theme when it comes to more curved forms. For instance, this curve here following this curve here, and the way that he's drawn his serratus here, it's all got a really great sense of directionality, and it gives his forms a visual mastery that's very difficult, certainly for me to really articulate or describe. You can see it again with this form here. There's just a really strong sense of directionality from his more straight lines to his curved shapes. Everything just has a real feel of almost a mechanical efficiency. I folded the page over for a couple other examples. I've made a couple of folds. This arm here, I've been a fan, and I've talked about Bridgeman so much and about what he really brings to figures that makes his work so valuable, because his anatomy, while it's great, it's not really an anatomy book. You would need other resources to really make anatomy work. What works so well are his use of curves and angular forms, but something I was really unaware of is just how much he uses directionality in his line to create really complete looking, beautiful figures. I had another example here of an ear. Fine, there it is. All these ears I think are great examples, but you can really see it here. Just all these lines match up, and that is not an accident. And it's just not something that I was really aware of at all before talking to Lee about it. It's a bit of a subtle thing, but I think it can make a very big difference. And so I'm going to go ahead and draw a couple of things and try and use that as much as I can in my own work. So I'm going to draw a figure kind of crouched over. I'm imagining this as being like a Wolverine kind of a pose. And I'm not really thinking about any of that right now. What I'm doing is just creating shapes to create volume. It's just my basic kind of tube-shaped Loomis and John Buscema inspired gesture drawing. I want to get as much of the figure, the form worked in here as I can, but I don't want to worry too much about line directionality right now. I want to worry about a figure that's going to overall work. I think that a real mastery of the whole concept, I think, can lend itself to this stage of drawing too, but I really haven't gotten there yet. And so we're going to be getting the figure in without trying to worry too much about that. All right, so I've got my figure basically roughed in. This is going to be enough to get me started. And I'm going to lighten this down, and we're going to start to work in our forms, and I'm going to start trying to think about those concepts while I move forward here. So I'm going to start with my head, move into my torso. And now when I get to my shoulders and my arms as I go down, this is where I'm really going to start trying to use some of what I've been studying. And so I've got the edge of my deltoid here. I've got my arm coming out, and this is where I want to start trying to use line directionality to my advantage. And so this is my overall kind kind of line direction that I'm using for this arm. And so I'm trying to really keep that in mind as I go through the arm. And you can see that just in really simple terms, it gives me something that has really nice hard edges, but it also has just a feeling of, I just don't know. I don't have a proper word to describe what it brings to it, but it's hard edged, but it really feels like a statement. We're gonna move on to the other arm. And so I've got my lines coming out this way here. I kind of want to mirror that here, coming out the other way. I don't know if I can get away with going with the same angle this way with my chest. I need to bring that in just a little bit more. And I think it's important with anything like this, and this is something that I think Lee was struggling with when he was trying to explain it, is like anything, it can't be a hard and fast rule where every line that I have is now going this way. That would be way too constraining. It's a good overall concept to bear in mind through your figure. I've got this angle here. I'm going to mirror that angle here for his rib cage. I've got this angle here. I'm going to mirror that angle for his rib cage here. And now going into his lower arm, or going into his upper arm, his bicep area, I've come off the angle here. And so I'm just going to adjust that. So I really want to stick with it as much as I can. I've got the same angle here. This part of the forearm is wider than this part, so you can't make these completely parallel. And so now going into my legs, I've got this angle here, and then going down toward the knee, I want to match that angle. And I'm going to match that angle again here. And so I can't match everything. I could try to match that to that, but I don't think that really works. So you need to use this as a tool, but not a hard and fast law. Certainly not with my understanding anyway. And I'm going to go through the figure and try to bear that in mind as much as I can. And then we'll just take a look at it before we tighten it up again and see if I can make some adjustments to make that theme stronger even. Another thing, and this is a bit unrelated, but I've got an overall kind of curve that comes down the leg here. And I just adjusted this line out a little bit to match that curve. And those sorts of curves are something I was much more familiar with and had more of an understanding of before. Making sure to use parallel lines to create a sense of strength and solidity in a figure is a real new one for me. And I like to think that it's something that I was naturally doing just being such a student of Bridgeman, but it's just not something I had any concept of before. And I realized another artist that I'm a huge fan of is Simon Bisley. He did a book called ABC Warriors, where he was drawing essentially robots. And I feel like the feel that he brought to the work in ABC Warriors moved forward through his career and gave his figures an angularity and a solidity that they may not have otherwise had. So I've got this angle here. I'm going to match that here. So I've got an angle here, and I don't know if I can quite, let's try and match that. I think that worked pretty well. And so as I plan my muscles, I want to do the same thing. I've got this muscle here, my central muscle. I'm going to match that angle here, this one. And so I'm trying to match that angle coming through here. And I'm going through and establishing more of my muscular form before I tighten this up, really trying to keep as many angles matching as I can. And I think this is very good as just an exercise. And like anything, it's a mistake to make anything a hard and fast rule. But this angle coming out of my stomach here and this angle here, I'm trying to match pretty well, along with my serratus going up. That is just not something I really would have considered before. And I think it gives it a quality that I've seen in artists that I admire and I really didn't understand for a very long time. I'm a little short in the leg. Let's go ahead and fix that. All right, so from here, I'm gonna start to tighten in my figure and see what we get from this. So I've got his cheekbone here under his mouth. Let's see if I can match that angle. When it comes to smaller things, some of these will just naturally kind of match up anyway. And so even down to his ear, I've got the same basic angle that I'm repeating over and over as I go through. I'm just looking at every way that I can match up line for line. This one here, this line here, I don't have matched, and it wouldn't work. And so I'm letting that go, but I want to match as much as I can. So all in all, I feel like it's working pretty well for me so far. And I feel like I'm ending up with a very hard-edged, solid-looking figure that I'm pretty happy with so far. And I apologize, I'm really not actually communicating much while I'm drawing a lot of this, but my brain is working overtime, just trying to find as many places as I can where I can match the angle that I'm drawing. So I've got an angle coming this way, and I'm trying to match it basically all the way down through his side. And then the same thing on this side. You can see how every line is kind of matching up. It's an esoteric concept. I just talked to Lee Weeks just last week, and he said that it's all made up. And it's true. All of these rules or philosophies are all made up about art. They kind of have to be. It's an art. It's not a science. And so I'm finding it a little difficult to get across and articulate, but hopefully you can see as I'm drawing this, how I'm trying to make that work. This is the worst explained video I've ever done. And I knew that it would be, because it's just very difficult for me to understand myself exactly. So I've got a line coming through here, cutting up, and then I'm trying to match that angle here. I'm going to see if I can match that angle there and match here as well as I can. With the hand right now, I have to admit, I'm not really thinking about that too much, just because it's a very complex form. And so I'm really just trying to think about making my hand work, truthfully. Once I get my hand in and I'm pretty happy with it, I think I might look at it and see where I've maybe done it naturally, where I haven't, and if I can make it better. So the fingers don't line up with each other in a parallel, and it's really important. There's so many forms that you can see my fingers here all kind of curve into each other, or all angle into each other. And so I want to make sure that I'm not using parallel lines to the point where I'm starting to eliminate those sorts of anatomical realities. And so there we go. I've drawn a very, very angular figure. I've tried to adhere to this rule as much as I possibly could, and it made the figure more hard-lined and straight than I would normally do. I have a tendency, I like using curves. I've done a video like this before. So this form here would curve into this, just opposing curves. And it's something I really like a lot. And it's something that Bridgeman does very, very well. And I think that bearing in mind these sorts of parallels and then coupling it with using opposing curves, it really works well in complement. Any one technique, I think, can just get oppressive if you stick with it to the exclusion of everything else. And so in drawing this figure, as much as I could, I tried to make sure that my individual planes run in parallels that complement each other. I also tried to plan this figure so that my overall forms have a similarity to the angle too, and it creates a bit of a visual theme with the overall figure, something that I think that Bill Sienkiewicz and Dennis Cowan do amazingly well, either consciously or unconsciously. I haven't had a chance to talk to Dennis about it. I'm very, very curious. I'm sure that this is something that he is aware of and maybe has a vocabulary for that I think would be helpful for me in understanding this. So this is a bit of a quick video this week. I just wanted to try and get this concept across as well as I possibly could in simple terms and show you my current thinking on what I've gotten from this. If this is something that you find useful, Or if you have insights into it that I don't, I would love to hear from you in the comments. I'm very curious to see what you all think. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Come visit us every Monday night, almost every Monday night at 7 o'clock Eastern for Monday Night Draw, and I will see you in the next video.